All right, so the first thing I'm going to show you how to do is to sign up for an OrcID. So all you need to do is go to OrcID, ORCID.org. Now, what's an OrcID? Well, let's just go to the About page here real quick before we go back to sign in and register. So what an OrcID is it is a number that's unique to you and then it can be affiliated with your scholarly work. So, for example, if I email a super common name like Nate Wood, I get quite a few different Nate Woods. And it would be possible, particularly if they had similar research areas, for some of their research to get confused with each other. However, an OrcID, their OrcIDs would be separate numbers had they each registered for one, and their scholarly work would be applied to them. These are becoming, this is like only a couple of years old, but it's becoming really common. And actually, there are quite a few federal grants that require you to have an OrcID to apply. Because they want to make sure that they are looking at your scholarly record and stuff like that. And then there's some publications that want your OrcID and stuff like that. So this is becoming something much more common and it's kind of taken off. As I said, I don't remember what year this started being a thing, but I know it was 2019 that it started being required for some federal grants. So I'm actually going to make my husband an OrcID because I already have one. So I'm going to go sign in and register. And we're going to go to don't have an OrcID yet, register now. So I'm going to register now. I'm going to sign up my husband. So I just put in his email address. I would suggest you use your school ID for now. Once we get into OrcID, there's a place for you to put alternate emails. But I would register for your OrcID with your school because your school actually can use your, like, affiliate with your OrcID. And so your scholarly work gets credited to your department and your school and stuff like that. So I would put in your NDSU email address. My husband doesn't have an NDSU email address, so we're just going to use his Gmail. Now, oh, sorry, that should have been his first name. Okay, and then I can also put it, this is where you could put in additional emails if you wanted, but you can do that once you get into your membership as well. So I'm going to go ahead and hit next. And what it does is it gives me a list of records that it thinks might be me. So it's looking for Charles Radetsky. So it's basically saying, hey, are any of these people you? Well, no. None of these are him. So we're going to go ahead and say, none of these are me, continue with registration. So these are people who already have OrcIDs. They don't want you to create two. So we're going to make a password. Oh. And then we're going to confirm that password. I'm not not sure my passwords match. Nope, they didn't. Here, let's fix that real quick. Okay, I do not want quarterly emails. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't appreciate that. And then I'm just going to hit next. So now, who do I want to be able to see my orc ID? Everyone? That's what, trusted organization. So this is where you'd say NDSU can see it or something like that. Or just me. Do I want to keep this private? Most people choose everyone. So we're going to go with everyone. Consent to the privacy policy. Consent to the data being processed in the United States, and I'm not a robot. And then I'm going to go ahead and register. So now this is my husband's unique orc ID. It is 4 zeros, another 3 zeros to 7071 5357. And you can actually associate this with a lot of different places. Like I can associate it with Scopus and a couple other places too. Mendeley, stuff like that. Now, if you didn't add extra emails, at this point I would recommend this is where you should add extra emails, because this is your ID. Even though you used NDSU to register for it, it belongs to you and it should follow you from institution to institution. So you don't want to end up at a different institution and not be able to get into your NDSU emails. So I would put a personal email in here. They also strongly recommend that you put other names you are known by. So I do need to verify the email address for my husband. Hopefully he's at his computer before I can do that. But this is where my husband is also known as Chuck Radetsky. So I would put in Chuck Radetsky. When I filled this out for myself, I put in my maiden name. Now, you can put in employment, education, all this other stuff. But the only thing that's really important that you add is your works. So if you have publications, this is where you add them. Now, you can add them one by one, or you can link to another resource. Like the one that I found super helpful was, it was actually easier for me to claim my publications on Scopus and then link to, where is it? Scopus. And then everything just got pulled in. But you can also just add works one by one. You can add either the DOI or the PubMed number or whatever and add them one by one manually. So let me go ahead and log out of my husband and show you what my completed profile looks like. So this is me now. So I have all of my employments in here, but as I said over here, I have that I go by Becky Radetsky sometimes, my maiden name, my Becky with my maiden name. I have actually linked to a couple of websites, my comprehensive portfolio and my LinkedIn profile. I've linked it to Scopus, as I said, and I have some other email addresses in here. So I also have my employment history, my education and qualifications, the memberships I belong to, and my publication record. So I would say, so you don't, as you can see from me registering my husband, you don't have to have any IDs yet or any publications yet to register an ORC ID. So go ahead and get yours registered now, even before you've published, and then that way your whole publication record will be affiliated with you.